It's been really good, really enjoying Ottawa. A lot of history here, and it's a good place. We've had some time, a little bit of downtime beginning of the week due to the travel and recovery. Main things for us to work on is lots of learnings on everything. We were pleased with the attitude. It was what you'd expect from an international team. We worked very hard for each other. We certainly fell away a little bit in the last 15-20 minutes, just in terms of our structure, our shape. We often tried to exit in the last 20 minutes and ended back up on our own try line, putting ourselves under a lot of pressure. So for us, it's been detail, getting the detail right. Look, obviously the driving maul we can talk about. 3 tries from a maul makes the scoreboard look a resounding win for Scotland, but we feel that we were competitive in certain areas of the game, but what we can't allow is for teams of that quality to get into the corner as much as we did. If we're going to be in our 22 against quality teams, we're going to concede points. So an improvement for us is to keep hold of the ball, put the opposition under a bit more pressure, and keep hold of that ball for longer periods. Now, we will all look at the defensive side of things. 35% possession isn't good enough. So where does that come from? That's our key learnings. But ultimately, Brian, pleased with a lot of things. We had a lot of disruption last week. We don't talk about it. It becomes an excuse. It's not our culture. But we did have a lot of disruptions. Players dropping out as late as the day of the game. So the detail wasn't exactly what we prepared for and what we wanted. So it's more about going over the detail this week to make sure we're clear on our roles.
8 changes to the starting roster to face Russia on Saturday. What are your thoughts on the 15-man team assigned to Saturday?
Well, I think, we have to have one eye on building towards November, creating depth in this group, but also obviously we really need to win this game. We're at home, and there's world ranking points at stake. We're playing against a team that will take part in the World Cup. There are 3 places above us in the world rankings. They didn't have a great start in the USA last week. They struggled with the heat, I think, and a little bit of the recovering from their travel. But we expect a tough opponent this weekend. And it's a game that we're looking for improvements in all the areas I just said. We started, if you like, against a real tough team, a top 4 team in the world. So obviously this game we feel should be more competitive, but it's a chance for guys to put their hand up, create pressure on other people in playing in those spots. The household names, the guys that are playing pro rugby, we need to get the depth behind and prepare us for November.
Speaking of the pro players, Tyler Ardron, Phil Mack, and DTH not in the roster. What are the updates on those 3? Yeah,
a bit disappointing. We alluded to it. We didn't talk about it last week in the media because we don't want it to be an excuse. But it's a bit of a blow for us. They are 3 captains. The 3 captains are out for the rest of the trip. Phil Mack we planned for. He's got a lead role in his club. He's in charge really of the rugby side of things as a coach, so we're supporting that, big part of his development. Tyler unfortunately didn't recover as we expected from his HIA, which he picked up playing for the Chiefs a few weeks ago. He possibly could have passed his HIA late this week, but it would have meant another week without training, so we made an early call on that, what's best for Tyler as well for his recovery, and we got a few big games ahead of him for Chiefs leading into November. And then, of course, DTH, unfortunately, has been fantastic for us as the captain. Has got a calf injury. I won't go into the detail of that, but it'll certainly keep him out for the next 10 days.
You're the head coach of Russia from 2011 to 2014, 30 test matches. You know the 12 players out of the 23 on their starting roster quite well. What are your thoughts on facing your old side?
Interesting. I really want Russia to do well. I'm really pleased that they made the World Cup. 2019, it'll mean a lot to them. They're a good bunch of guys, particularly the staff. Meeting this afternoon for coffee with their forwards coach, who was my captain in my time there. He's a great guy, and I've been mentoring him a little bit on the coaching side of things, so I'm pleased for him. A lot of the guys, as you said, I almost live with really in ways, so 6 weeks of the year during rugby stuff, particularly World Cup year. So they're a good group. I hope they go well, except for this Saturday. I don't hope they go too well this week, of course. But no, I expect a physical game. They're heavy, big, strong team. They're a team that we don't want, as I alluded to earlier on, to be in our 22. They can hurt you. and they've got some dangerous backs, and the guy at 10, Yuri Kuzhnarev, is really a top class player. Vastly experienced. I think Russia's most capped player, highest point scorer, deadly goal kicker. Artemiev at fullback, their captain, is a top class player. Has played for Northampton and played for Ireland at age groups, believe it or not. Went to school in Ireland, so they've got some quality in their backs as well. So lots of challenges, but they'll also be very disappointed on last week's performance. And I know that we won't read too much into that. We expect a wounded animal, and we expect a tough game from the guys on this Saturday. But we feel we can hopefully play at a tempo that'll suit us, hopefully control that tempo of the game, and we feel that we can score a few tries as well.